Hey, so now this is session 4 of our basic puppetry skills, and today we want to talk a little bit about setting up the stage and how to interact with it. Some of you are going to be setting up that stage and when we do outreaches and programs, so we just want you to get a little bit of experience doing that. We use kind of a metal system, and it's got some end poles that have some folded up tripod legs and then an adjustable top for the height. So the first thing you're going to want to do is be able to set up the legs. And when we do this, there's a little knob here that you can use to just loosen the pressure on it, and then you expand the legs so they come out to make like a tripod. You've seen that before. And usually what we do is we sit that on the ground and kind of tap it down a little bit until it's kind of resting naturally. And then you want to tighten up that that same little piece again. And so we just take it, and this time we just turn it in the position to tighten it. Leave it right there. So then you want to do one of those for both sides. This top piece is interesting because you can loosen it a little bit and then it pulls out a pretty long piece. We're for today just going to leave it at about that height, and then you just tighten it back up by turning the opposite direction, and you've now set it in place and locked it in place. You do 2 of those the same way. So I've got them sitting here, and then you're going to need a bar that spans the 2 of them. The bar that we use is another piece of metal, and it's called a telescoping rod, and you probably can guess why, because each of these sections telescope, and so it comes out to like 12-15 feet long, so it's pretty long. And what you end up doing is, because of the hole at both ends, you can just put it over the piece here. This is tall enough to where it will allow another rod going in the opposite direction, and you can continue your stage in that direction. But you always kind of want to be careful to keep the telescoping end up, because if you tip it down, it will very rapidly hit somebody or hit the wall or something around you. So you get those 2 things set up, and then you're ready to put the fabric on the puppet stage. And this one we're going to use is just a really simple black one, has some gold fringe on it. But at the top you'll notice there is a pocket, and they've just folded over the fabric and then sewn along the edge to make a little tunnel, a little fabric kind of channel there. And so what you want to do is just slide this over the pole and keep feeding it on there until you've got the whole piece of fabric on that rod. And then when it's all on the rod, you just link it between the 2 pieces, and then you're ready to go. We want to be careful to turn the legs so that they are facing with one leg of the tripods pointing straight out, so that it's more difficult to tip over. Because even though we say you shouldn't rest the puppet on the bar, on the actual puppet stage bar, sometimes kids do, and if it's too easy to tip over, what will happen is the whole stage can fall right into a crowd of kids, and it will be terrifying as puppets come right at them, and the whole screen falling down on them. So make sure that you're doing a good job of kind of staying away from that bar so that it doesn't tip over. So once you've got all the fabric on, you will put it over the tripod, and then get the other one set up so that now we have our puppet stage set up, and you spread it out so that it kind of looks nice. It's not all bunched up in one area. And then it's time to start using the puppet. So we'll put the puppet on the stage and get ready to use him. What we're going to do is kind of move you up here a little bit closer. Want to remind you that for For puppets on the stage, we want to keep the puppets about belly button high. So wherever you imagine the belly button of your puppet, keep him just about that level. If you go up too high and kids see that there is an arm there, they're going to realize this is not a real thing. There's a person back there. So you want to keep him kind of belly button high, kind of a natural position. I like to rest the rod arm right on the puppet stage. That way when I move back and forth, it seems like it's a fairly natural movement. Makes his arms move, and I'm not doing a thing. It's all happening by itself. The other thing is, remember, we don't want to lean against the stage. You lean too much and it will just tip over. So stay back about 2 or 3 inches from the stage itself, and then you're ready to begin. So when puppets come up, you want to take the puppet on your puppet side of your body, where the arm going into the puppet is, and you put him back and down so that nobody can see him. I'm up so you can see me, obviously, but he's down. And then when it's time to come up, you walk up imaginary stairs until he gets to that place. So you always come up on this side of your body that the puppet is on. Then he talks or does what he's going to do, and then when it's time to leave, you have him exit by going in front of your body and then down on the other side. It's just a much more natural than trying to have him turn one of these ways and go down on this side of your body. It's really, he almost makes a dive down. So you want to just make it as natural as possible, having him walk in front of you and then down the stairs going back to where he lives. It's like they live downstairs. So if I were going to try that, here's what it would look like. I would do up, turn, and so he comes down on the other side of me. So I want you to practice that a little bit. Just going up and down. So 2 things to kind of practice in this one: setting up the puppet stage, and then proper placement of your puppet coming up, looking around, maybe talking a little bit, and then making your exit. We'll have you do that. Remember what we've said before too, is when the puppet comes up, he shouldn't just stand there. Kind of looks like a statue, or maybe he's dead. So, sorry. So you want to have him move around a little bit, looking, maybe making some observations. Keep him alive, and then be able to exit when it's time. Oop, probably shouldn't drag his arm over the edge. That doesn't look very nice. So make sure he walks away well. Okay, so go ahead and try those 2 things, and we'll see you next time.